Developments now in that violent attack on two NYPD officers in Times Square last weekend. Today, Governor Hochul said their attackers will face additional charges.
Let's get upstairs to Chief Investigative Reporter Jonathan Dinks in the newsroom with where the case stands now. Jonathan?
David, the investigation, the manhunt ongoing as questions continue to swirl about why some of the alleged attackers were set free from court with no bail. Followed by reporters, Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg not talking about why his office did not seek bail for several of the migrants accused of it.
Hey, so you see Alvin Bragg, he not bragging right now, is he? Alvin Bragg ain't bragging right now, is he? Shout out to Mr. King. He said, I didn't know people said Molly Wop. Oh, yeah, we say Molly Wop, bro. Them cops got mollied. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. Yeah, they got flued out to the West Coast. They going back to Cali. If I got to choose a coast, it got to be the East. We get free food and all kind of stuff to eat. But if they try to send me back, got to beat them cops down. If they violate me, thy shall annihilate thee. Blue NYPD. Oh, man, that's crazy.
Attacking two NYPD officers in Times Square.
We speak in court.
Some of those charged have prior arrests, and some police officials say 4 involved in the attack have since left New York on a bus for California. Some of those charged are due back in court March 4th. Many say bail could have and should have been set. The governor pointing out at least one suspect did have bail set and is now being held on Rikers.
An assault on a police officer means that you should be sitting in jail, like there's an individual right now sitting in Rikers, pending your trial date.
Police do not track crime committed by the undocumented, but the attack on police officers comes as a growing number of arrests can be linked to
You guys see that? So they don't track crime on the undocumented. They do not track crimes on the undocumented. The undocumented have a completely different set of rules than us. See, we're the documented. You know what I'm saying? The undocumented have a completely different set of rules, which is wild.
Residents of migrant shelters. Arrest records show residents living at 30 of the city's 200 migrant shelters have been arrested more than 1,200 times in the last year. City records show the top crimes include petty larceny, assault, grand larceny, endangering the welfare of a child, and robbery.
It's going to be hard to really tell the depth of this problem.
Listen here, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to get anybody to understand if they're not living here. They don't know what's going on over here. That's crazy, man. You could tell he one of them 6th generation New Yorkers. You know what I'm saying? That accent ain't going nowhere, man. If y'all haven't smashed the like button, make sure y'all take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't, hit the bell and subscribe to the channel. Take a moment, hit the bell and subscribe to the channel. And please make sure that you guys share the stream to your social media.
So the top crimes include petty larceny, assault, grand larceny, endangering the welfare of a child, and robbery.
It's going to be hard to really tell the depth of this problem unless we can get some better statistics of it.
NBC New York consultant Terry Monahan is the NYPD's former chief of department. He says,
hey, make sure you guys show my man Hurricane IQ some love. Hurricane IQ been a channel member for 5 months. Shout out to him. Definitely appreciate it. We got mad members. You know what I'm saying? The membership is only 99 cents. It helps. So if you want to be like Hurricane IQ and become a member, make sure that you guys hit that link when the bot puts it into the chat. All right.
Most migrants are here seeking better lives, but crime, a growing problem.
A lot of times it shows as a first arrest.
Man, the migrants, they're not coming here seeking a better life. We've seen so much proof of this that's not what's going on here. That's not the case at all. Let me ask you guys, we're gonna get a poll going. Are the migrants coming here seeking a better life? If the migrants are coming here seeking a better life, give me a thumbs up. If they're not, and it seems like there's other things going on, then give me a thumbs down.
That individual, because it's the first time they're here, and they're getting sent right back out on the streets to do it again.
The NYPD points to one group of migrants that was caught using scooters to commit 59 different cell phone robberies. As for the more than 13 people allegedly involved in the attack on those 2 officers, the search for at least 6 others is ongoing. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials not commenting again if they plan to track down any of the suspects to try to get them before an immigration judge. This, as the DA's office has said, it is working to clarify which attacker did what during the attack to file the appropriate criminal counts against each suspect.
All right, so there's that. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to listen to a couple politicians and their thoughts on this situation. All right, so we're going to listen to a congresswoman here. Let me see what we got real quick. Shout out to Tia. What's good with it, Tia? Let's see. All right, there we go. Yeah, see, I'm getting a little bit faster with this different software that I'm using, so we good now.
New York, to discuss how New Yorkers are feeling about the Biden border crisis.
Before we go to Nicole, I just want to invite, if there are other members, I have an open seat right here if Congresswoman Boebert wants to join us as members come and go. Nicole.
Thank you. Thank you, Carol, for your work in highlighting how fentanyl is destroying communities. I woke up this morning and got on the phone with the director of ICE for New York because in my city, we saw 2 police officers beat by a mob of migrants in Times Square. And I told the ICE director quite clearly, I want these individuals to be deported, period. We cannot accept in this country people who have paid the cartels thousands of dollars to be smuggled here, and then they're in our city committing crimes. And why are they in New York? Well, because our mayor decided to provide housing, education, legal services, laundry services, food, you name it. And so it's incentivizing more people to come to New York City. But you're seeing.
Would you guys agree that everything that all these sanctuary city mayors like Eric Adams are offering, these are things that are incentivizing more people to come? So as long as they continue to offer all of this stuff, these people are never going to stop coming. There's going to always be an issue with them coming. If you guys think that that's accurate, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think that that's accurate, then give me a thumbs down.
Seeing that not all of them are innocent asylum seekers, as our mayor claims. I can go through a bunch of articles here, which we don't have time for, but another woman was arrested for slapping NYPD officer in the face. Okay, another illegal immigrant bites off a police.
Hey, I didn't hear about that. Did you guys hear about that? There was a woman that got in trouble for slapping a police officer in the face. Did you guys hear about that one? I didn't hear about that.
Sergeant's finger after a DUI bust. Asylum seeker accused of killing another at the Randall's Island shelter, which we, the taxpayers in New York City, are paying for. Migrant stabbed by girlfriend in a possible love triangle. Okay, this is what's happening in New York, and it's happening all too often, and we need to do something about it. And the president could end this today if he simply undoes his executive orders that created this mess, and if my mayor stops misinterpreting New York City's right to shelter law, which is intended only for New Yorkers. And what's really unfair is, look, we're New York City. We are a nation, a city of immigrants. We're welcoming. And I have many immigrants in my district, my parents included. I met last week with a woman from Belarus who's been here since 2017.
Man, I'm not trying to be funny, but it's funny to see all of these immigrants that are outraged about other immigrants. Now imagine the people that are not immigrants, how we feel about you all. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, let's take a look. Let's just back this up a little bit, right? This woman here is a first generation American, and she's sitting up here talking, no accent, you know what I'm saying? She's all, you know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, right? She's an immigrant, right? Her parents are immigrants. They're outraged by these new immigrants. Imagine how those of us who aren't immigrants feel. And see, that's one of the reasons why they want to try to erase the narrative of the people that are not immigrants. See, we're not immigrants. So how we think we're looking at you all. And honestly, like, let's keep it a buck. All the immigrants, including the ones that her family comes from, have all come to the United States and completely destroyed it. That's why there's skyscrapers here. That's why there's a freeway system here, because they came here and destroyed it. That's why there's not bison running freely, because they came here and destroyed it. They came here and threw off the natural population ratios. They came here and artificially excavated the land. They destroyed it. They ethnically cleansed it. And now they're starting to get those remnants of seeing this is what we did. You know what I'm saying? And now it's happening to us. I don't know what to say.
Her asylum case because she was politically persecuted in her country. She's been here, she's been legal, she's been working, she's been doing everything right, waiting patiently. And her court case is getting pushed to the back of the line. Why? Because the president has a last in, first in approach where the people who are coming over the border, paying the drug smugglers thousands of dollars, they're getting first priority and their hearings are being heard first. And that was what immigration told me directly when I inquired as to why this person was delayed so long. So it's not fair to the—
And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 29 people watching and we got 33 likes. If everybody can take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit that bell icon, please take a moment, hit that bell icon. Also, if you're not following me on my other social media, Twitter, make sure that you guys follow me on Twitter. I don't have a Discord link posted because, like I said, I wasn't able to do all that because I'm having the computer issues. I'm gonna have to restart my computer after this, and I didn't want to lose this information that I had that I wanted to put content up about. So I wasn't able to pin the Discord and all that. But make sure that you guys follow me on Twitter. Make sure that you guys follow me on Rumble, all those other places.
people who've come the right way and have been waiting patiently, doing everything right, and that has to be addressed. Enriching the cartels, that's what's happening. I just said $32 million a week. But what really concerns me, and maybe
I still got that computer hurricane.
Is I'm from New York City, right? Post 9/11 world. Look at the board. 361 people on the terror watch list were stopped at the southern border alone. You mentioned there's not enough people on the northern border. We didn't even know how many maybe came into the northern border.
Did you guys hear that? How come they don't talk about that on the news? She said there's a board that they're not showing, and on the board there was over 300 terrorists on that watch list. Why do you guys think they're not talking about that on the news? They should be showing people that. They should be letting people know how unsafe a lot of this game that they're playing really is.
But what really concerns me, and maybe Brandon can help shed some light on this issue, is, look, I'm from New York City, right? Post 9/11 world. Look at the board. 361 people on the terror watch list were stopped at the southern border alone. You mentioned there's not enough people on the northern border. We didn't even know how many maybe came into the northern border. But in addition to the roughly 8 million people who are claiming asylum, which, by the way, only half of them actually qualify, maybe less, because if you look at the court data, more than half of the people claiming asylum are doing it to gain entry, and then they are denied when they actually get to court. Further pushing my constituent again the right way down the line, clogging out the immigration system. But in addition to those people, you're talking about 1.8 million that have come in or undetected. That's what CBP estimates.
Shout out to my man, John Guillory. Everybody, if you're not part of the Discord, take a moment. That link that John just put into the chat, make sure you guys hit that link. Hit that link right now so that you can join Discord. You will never miss a notification, and you'll be able to see some of the content that I'm not able to put up and some of the articles that some of the subscribers post, because they put some great information into that Discord. If you're part of the Discord gang and you guys agree with what I said, then throw that Discord gang emoji into the chat. All right. And shout out to my man Hurricane IQ for being a like enforcer. Throw some like enforcers in the chat.
We don't know who they are, where they are, or what their intention is. And that is what scares me the most as a New Yorker in a post 9/11 world. Can you please give us your thoughts on that? And is there reason to be concerned?
Yeah, so the actual estimate is going to be that there's been more than close to 4 million people that have crossed our borders illegally and have been able to evade apprehension. That 1.8 million people, that's what we actually detected. So that's not an estimate. We actually know that that's what crossed the border. We saw them. So when you look at this issue and when you look at this problem, you're constantly going to hear in the rhetoric rather than giving actual facts. And what really frustrates and upsets us is when you hear Joe Biden say, well, I've asked for money. This is not a money issue. This strictly is a policy issue. If he were to give us the policy, what he wants to do is he wants to put the cart before the horse. If you give me more drones, if you give me more ground sensors, if you give me more remote video surveillance, all that's going to do is count the gotaways. That's all it's going to do. It does not allow us to go out and actually apprehend these individuals, because the cartels recognize that all they have to do is flood our resources. And when they flood our resources in one specific area, it requires us to send those resources to that area, which takes our agents out of the field. And when our agents are out of the field, it creates the gaps in our coverage. And when they create that gaps, they control that area. And we just don't know what's coming across. You're going to hear this misnomer, and you're going to hear the far left liberals, and they're going to say, well, all the drugs are coming at the ports of entry. They're not coming between the ports of entry. And that is absolutely false. And the reason that that's false is because those ports of entry, those are secure locations. If the resources exist, every single vehicle can be gone through. But when you don't have agents on the border, and when you can't properly control the border.
And so now it's interesting that he's bringing this up, right? Because we are actually going to get into that. We're actually going to get into what he's saying because I don't know if anybody is aware, but the patterns of how people are migrating into the country, or the illegally getting into the country, I should say, have changed dramatically. Now there's new hotspots of where people are actually getting in more so than where they were getting in before. You guys remember Eagles Pass, Texas, and all of those places. Those were the hotspots before, but now there's other places that people are looking at trying to get into as well. You guys can take a guess where those places are.
When you have 23 miles that are wide open, everything that comes across there, it would behoove the cartels to actually cross their drugs at that time when they create that opportunity. And that's what they're doing. They're creating an opportunity. On the northern border, they create that opportunity knowing that they flood our resources on the southwest border, which then requires our northern border agents to sit behind a computer and process individuals, and which again destabilizes the northern border and allows drugs to flow across there. In fact, the most potent marijuana used to be what we call BC bud. And that was coming from Canada. We know that things continue to come from Canada in your area. We know that that continues to happen. But if you're not there to actually apprehend them, again, give me drones, great. But those drones are going to count the gotaways. They're not going to allow us to apprehend you.
If I could just add one point, because I think it's important to this discussion. We've caught a number of drug smugglers in New York, and believe it or not, because of New York's ridiculous bail law, they've been released right back onto the streets. And one of the things that ICE is concerned about is that NYPD has their hands tied and they cannot cooperate with ICE. So ICE may have a detainer request for those individuals, and NYPD will just release them back onto the street instead of turning them over to ICE. And that has made it really even more problematic for law enforcement to be able to do their job.
Now, if you watch NBC or if you watch one of these liberal Democrat news stations, they'll sit here and tell you that what's being said right here is misinformation. But we're actually looking at an actual government official saying this. YouTube will remove your videos for saying things like this. We're actually looking at someone who works for the government saying this. So now let me ask you guys this question. Why is it then that the news, they don't emphasize the fact that these people get caught and then they get released after committing violent crimes? Let me know what you guys think.
And that's a policy decision, and that's the problem. And that's one of the magnets that draws people across our borders illegally, when they recognize that there's going to be no consequences once they get here. And again, I don't mean to correct anybody, but statistics will show that people that claim asylum, it's only about 15% that are granted. So the vast majority of these individuals that claim asylum don't have a legitimate claim. But the problem is the vast majority never show up to their court appearances. So when we're looking at the impeachment of Secretary Mayorkas, if we want to prove, because we constantly hear, well, you didn't prove your case.
So check this out. He said the vast majority never show up to their court cases, right? The vast majority never shows up to their court cases. And then how do you enforce the warrant that will be generated from them not showing up to court? How do you enforce that arrest of them not showing up to court? Make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Make it make sense, because I don't know how you do that.
To prove that he is actually violating our laws by not enforcing our laws, all you have to do is look at what he said. He said the act of being in this country alone is not enough for an enforcement action. That's his intent. His intent clearly shows that he is not going to enforce the laws. Then he backs it up with action. All you have to do is look at the people that do not show up to their court appearances. That means they violated the rules of their release, and he now has an obligation to go after those individuals, but he's not. And that's where he's violating the law. So, and when he violates the law, what that does is it invites more people to cross our borders illegally. That's the magnet that draws people here. So it is clear that he is in fact violating the law. And if we do not impeach him, then we are allowing him to get away with encouraging the cartels to continue to advertise their services around the world. There must be accountability in our government.